Hello everyone, and welcome to the 164th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict, you may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and Findus cleaner, Frederick.
Findus cleaner.
Yeah, Findus cleaner.
Yeah, so, let me give you a bit of backstory here. So, I don't know if people know about Findus.
I think we mentioned the concept of Findus.
The phenomenon that is Findus. But basically, yeah, he's I think he's Danish, kind of Danish child cartoon and book character. Like a little cat with green overalls. Very cute, very delightful. And I got like a plushy teddy bear kind of thing of him when I was 3 when I stopped using pacifiers. He turned into my pacifier, and he's been with me ever since. I took him to uni, obviously, as any self-respecting man does. And then, basically, the way my apartment, the way the building of my apartment is that, to the left, there's, dozens of other, apartments that are insulated by buildings on either side. But my building is all the way out to the right with no other building there. So I get a lot of, it's very cold. A lot of condensation, and then a mixture of that led to a slight mold problem in the corner of my room. Who was at the center of it all? Findus!
Are you sure the mold problem didn't originate from Findus as some sort of
carrying it with him all these years?
Curse that he's put on you for all the torment.
It's a bomb my mom planted 19 years ago.
I mean, to be fair, Findus has much reason to hate you. I've been present at Findus abuse sessions of just throwing him against walls, smacking him about.
Complete. Yeah, that taken out of context sounds truly horrific.
It's like a Findus abuse
I've been present at different Findus abuse sessions.
I've been at parties at your place where people are throwing him around and just he's been around.
He's had a tough run. But none tougher than the fact that he suddenly woke up. And this happened overnight. Because, as I do every night, I lick him goodnight. And he was fine the previous night. And I woke up and man was just completely covered in black mold.
God, oh no.
So I had to spray him down and then wash him. And now he's fine. But I think he is slightly traumatized.
Yeah, he does look like he's had a rough one there. Yeah. I can see him in the background just collapsed on your bed. Anyway, prayers
it's a traumatized man right here.
Prayers up for Findus. Today on the Poorly Planned Podcast, we had a plan, which was foiled by, I guess, Scottish
ineptitude.
Yeah, we were gonna talk Knives Out 2 Glass Onion, which I have seen, I have loved. And I think, as Cian put on the pod fan page, it is an extremely pod-worthy movie. It's just it's great in general and has the nuttiness, whatever. But there are some very, very specific references that are made that are just objectively made. I hate to say it, for us. I feel like it was definitely made because
Daniel
of us.
Craig did this movie for the boys.
So. Either, hopefully, the problem is it's not showing in Scotland where you are for some reason.
For some reason, the only reason, because it came out the 23rd, the only thing I can think of being the reason that it wouldn't be showing is that it's already out of cinemas, but that would have given it a week, which seems...
I don't know. It is coming to Netflix on Christmas, but very strange. Yeah. So either it will come to cinemas, again, where you are, and you will see it and we'll talk about it, or... When we are both back in Denmark, we'll hit a Woody for it, watch it together, and then we'll talk about it. So we will talk about it eventually. Don't worry, it'll be a great episode when we do. But until then, we do have to continue with today. We're going to be talking about Marvel Phase 4 movies ranked. I thought it'd been a while. Someone suggested this. We're taking suggestions on board these days. It's been a while since we did a superhero centric one. I feel. I will say before we get into it. Just very quickly, a good Craig-related story.
Very good.
You sent this to me. I hadn't seen it in full, but I think we have to talk about the Belvedere vodka ad starring Daniel Craig, directed by Taika Waititi, which if you haven't seen, pause right now, go watch. Enjoy.
All right. Isn't it brilliant?
Isn't it? It's It's confusing. I don't understand what the point of it is.
How can I be so attracted to a man who dances so poorly?
But he also dances perfectly in a weird way. It's kind of, it feels like an evolution of the Mads Mikkelsen Carlsberg commercials where he's biking through Copenhagen. It's a more extreme, insane version of that.
It's a Daniel Craig version of that, is what you mean.
Actually, oh my god, what a crossover! Craig and Le Chiffre both doing a alcohol nutty commercial
advertisement.
Both doing acting jobs. Insanity.
This sort of thing happens once in a blue moon.
But yeah, it was just great. And you pointed out at the very end, Craig has a little bit of what can only be described as an orgasm.
There's no other scientific explanation
for making that sound.
It is biologically proven that noise coming from after he says Belvedere has to be him ejaculated.
Belvedere. What a joke.
Belvedere. And
so anyway, I just thought I'd point that out to anyone who hadn't seen it. Fantastic stuff from the Craig.
Great dance moves and very I don't know, like very sexy.
Well, I was thinking I only have one mini review and it's pretty mini.
Okay.
So I was thinking, and if you have a mini review that stands out, we can maybe do one mini review and then jump into the phase 4ings. There are time codes down below, by the way. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds brilliant to me.
Okay. Well, my one mini review is, in fact, I finally watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special or Christmas special. That,
I see.
Is this yours or is?
No. I just saw like a few clips and.
Yeah, look, it was getting super. Also, can I ask no eating on the?
Yes,
I'm gonna put a moratorium on eating, on beard scratches, on general just your presence,
general tomfoolery,
just shithousery. If we could cut it all out.
Been doing it for 6 years now, still doesn't get it.
Just munching the chips like episode 1. But the holiday special. It was getting super positive reviews, and I was pretty excited.
And then I changed that.
It was good. It was just. I literally just said beard scratches. What are you doing? I was like, he must be doing this on purpose because I saw you nuttily smile and then suddenly just hands all in the beard. Anyway, it was kind of fun. It wasn't anything like amazing or anything, but it was, I don't know, it was super cheesy but I kind of, you expect that in it being like a Christmas special. It has some kind of cringy jokes in it, but there were a few Drax moments that genuinely made me burst out laughing. The best one is that they're kidnapping Kevin Bacon and they realize he's an actor and they're disgusted by his lies, and at one point Drax just turns to him and says, "We hate you." And it's just very, very good.
But we despise you, Kevin.
Kevin Bacon's fun as well. It's a fun, silly thing. It's a little, I know it's a stupid, it doesn't matter Christmas special. It's kind of funny that Kevin Bacon, spoiler alert, as you can imagine, he immediately comes around and he's like, "You guys are my friends. I love you." And it's like, well, it's kind of strange considering you've been kidnapped by aliens, but I'll allow it. It's fine.
No worries.
The only thing I'll say other than that I kind of didn't love, like the whole thing's fine. It's okay. It's pretty fun. It's cute. Has Mantis, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we've seen Mantis in other movies, she isn't that over the top. Is she? Like, she's pretty, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because in this one,
she's gotten more and more over the top.
She's like
lately
yelling every line. Like randomly, she'll just like yell a line and like really angrily or something, like for comedic effect, clearly. But it kind of comes off as weird because
she's obviously trying to be funny, but she doesn't realize that she's failing miserably.
She doesn't realize that D.H.L. Hudson is watching and he does not approve. He only laughs at Daniel Craig dancing in vodka commercials. Thank you very much.
That's very difficult to pull off.
But I don't know. I was kind of. She was just so over the top that it was sort of a little bit off-putting at times, I guess. I don't know. It was a little weird. Just like I didn't remember that being like kind of how her character is.
I feel like she's kind of like that doing that classic kind of still getting used to human interaction. So she's like,
I guess. It wasn't that.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember her getting that much screen time in general. So
no, she had some fun moments. Also, do you mind if I spoil a big twist in this? Spoiler alert.
Can I guess what that is first? Because I saw something that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's probably that then. Yeah.
That she's his sister.
Yes.
Like Peter Quill's sister.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I guess Ego, the planet, Kurt Russell planet,
Ego the Kurt Russell planet.
He's just getting around, and he mated with a mantis person and then created her. And also there's the space dog in it who they kind of act like has always been there. The Cosmo the space dog was not a character in the other things, was? Like, I know you can introduce characters and things, but it's just kind of funny that they don't really address, like, where did this member of the group come from? Like,
what?
Yeah, there's just a
space dog.
Like, I know she was going to be in the next film, but like, I know there was like an Easter egg in the first one, but she'd never officially been like introduced to the team. I don't know. Anyway, it was fun. It was silly, fun little thing. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I didn't think it was bad.
So what's the actual plot of this thing?
They go to Mantis and Drax go to kidnap Kevin Bacon as a present for Peter Quill because he's sad that Gamora's gone. Which, like, the Christmas spirit, like, it is pretty funny. Like, the Christmas spirit of it is very cute. And then, like, Peter Quill's in awe of, like, how they decorated the whole place to look like Christmas. And then they just have Kevin Bacon in a box who's been kidnapped. And he's, like, freaked out. It's pretty good. Like, it's nothing. I don't think you need to watch it, but it's, like...
How long is it? Is it, like, 20, 30 minutes?
That's, like, 40 minutes.
All right. That's 35 too long.
But, yeah, pretty fun. Also, Groot looks kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you've seen
did see Groot. He's kind of like... He's
kind of built.
He looks like one of the... Have you seen My Singing Monsters?
No, but I can...
That app? Anyways, he looks like the tree singing monster. It'll be very accurate. You can look up a picture if you want, but it's...
There you go. That'll be the picture for this segment. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, right, Guardians Holiday Special. Pretty fun.
Pretty fun. All right. Well, terrible transition. I mean, depending on whether I spoil or not. But I did watch and finish the second season of Homeland, which is anything but fun.
Okay, fair enough.
Are you gonna watch this?
I might actually. Maybe don't. Maybe go.
Okay, I won't spoil then. But yeah, basically just end of season. Like, I will say, awesome season finale, but compared to Guardians Christmas special, probably not as cheery. But I mean, anyone who's seen it will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was. Jenny, it's such a good show. I've watched like 2 seasons now in like a week and a half, something like that. And it is just, it's so good. The acting is so good. The intricacies of everything. Although again, as I've said before, you get so angry with the main character with some of her decisions because she is bipolar. But sometimes the way she goes about doing things, I'm like, because there's like such an obvious way to do it right, and then she does this thing, and it's just like, what are you doing, Carrie? She's also got a very kind of like mushy and gross sounding last name, Matheson. Gives me kind of Thwaites vibes.
Yeah, it has a Thwaitesy kind of, I hate to say Mike Tyson-y energy to it, but
yeah. Basically any last name that has got a th in it is just Thwaites.
Yeah.
But
Thwaites.
But such a good show. Definitely recommend. And I just moved on to the 3rd season, and things are happening.
So, you know what? It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
I have actually been looking for a new show to watch with a friend of mine, and you know what? Homeland might be the
very
vibe.
Good shout.
All right,
genuinely very, very good.
I'll bring it up. It'll probably get vetoed immediately, but I'll bring it up.
Watch Guardians Christmas special on loop for 6 weeks.
Just that as a 12-episode season. Cool. Well, shall we dive deep into...
I think we should. Shall we dive deep?
Marvel's Phase 4 officially ended with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We're now in Phase 5, baby. It's crazy.
Phase 5. God, it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, these phases are getting, because they put out so many movies, these phases are getting pretty short. Like, the first movie here came out in 2020 or 2021. So it's literally been like a year, and that's been this phase.
I see.
Like,
how long does a phase have to be?
It can be anything, but I remember, like, the first one was from 2008 to like 2012, and then it was like 2012 to 2018 maybe or something, 2016. But anyway,
he knows his phases.
So we're gonna talk movies today. We're talking, and their time codes down below with full spoilers for everything. We're talking Black Widow. We're talking Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4, and Black Panther 2. And then I was thinking maybe another episode we could rank the Phase 4 shows. Big brain.
I like what you're saying. Again, I don't think I've seen all of them, but we'll get
me neither.
to it.
But
we'll cross that hurdle when we get to it.
We'll make it work. Also, I'm pretty sure it's cross that bridge. You don't really cross a hurdle.
We're crossing the hurdle.
Okay, fair enough. And you want to stay till the end because we will be ranking them. Very exciting.
And
we got some triviums.
Trivia. True or false trivia.
It's back, baby. And this time we actually, I mean, not that it's going to be much better than last time, but this time we actually have planned it out in advance. So it's not going to be like on the spot terribleness. It's still going to be terrible, but
it'll be premeditated.
Premeditated terribleness. And also I've started kind of difficult trivia. It may get a little easier as it goes. We'll see. But
okay. How much trivia have you done?
I did it so I basically just went.
Okay, yeah.
One.
I've done 3, and you've done 4 then, or what?
Yeah, maybe 5. But I
maybe 20.
I maybe did every fucking piece of work. No, I have.
Maybe I've got no trust in your abilities. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some of the trivias. Freddy's gonna be doing some of the trivias. It's a piece of trivia from IMDb, I'm assuming, where it's either one of them's true, one of them's false. We have to guess which is which. You know the drill. Let's dive into it. Starting with a film you may have seen, Black Widow.
I have not. I don't know.
To be fair, that's not a bad summation of Black Widow, even for those who have seen it. Not extremely memorable.
I know some of what happens. I know David Harbour's there as big red boy.
Yep. Yeah, we could start. We've really really prepared for movie review. Yeah, this one's a little more premeditated, a little more planned. So I know David Harbour's a big green guy in it, maybe? I may have seen a YouTube short about it.
I think I saw Dance Like Dave Harbour TikTok.
I'm sure that exists somewhere. But Black Widow, you know what? I will say, my instinct, and I feel like I've become eroded to a person who just calls everything mid immediately. So my instinct with this, when I think about it, because it's not the most memorable film, I haven't gone back and revisited it, is to say, it was pretty mid. But thinking...
I'm going to stick with that.
But it's actually trash, now that I think about it, actually. But thinking back to it, I remember going into it, I was like, this is going to be the most mid Ant-Man thing. Why are they making this movie so boring, whatever. Watching it, it actually wasn't bad. It actually has quite a bit of good stuff in it. I think it, even to myself, it may be a little underrated. I think in the conversation, because we have bigger movies like a No Way Home and a Doctor Strange, it kind of gets swept under the carpet. But when you think back to it, it has some pretty great stuff in it. I think probably the main reason I didn't watch it is because I know what happens with her. I know she's dead. What's the point? The release of this film is still one of the most baffling things in the world.
Yeah, if they'd released this like, I don't know, half a year / a year before Endgame came out,
literally,
and also in theaters if possible with COVID and stuff like that, then
yeah. Because it was that's the thing. COVID pushed it further than it was, but it was still planned to come after Endgame, in the first place. And if you'd taken out if you'd put Ant-Man and the Wasp before Infinity War and slotted Black Widow in there, because Ant-Man and the Wasp came out between Infinity War and Endgame, you put Black Widow prequel in between those. It's perfect because we get the setup of what's happening in Infinity War, and we get sort of her. At the end of Black Widow, she kind of jets off for Infinity War. So now you're more invested in her character, and that makes her death in Endgame even more impactful. I will never understand the decision to release this after she just died.
Yeah. Is there like a ending scene of her like dying or
there is I believe, post-credit scene of Florence Pugh
her sister at the
her
grave.
And then what's her name shows up.
Dreyfus.
Yeah, Dreyfus. Pretty Dreyfus character she's playing there. It has more to it. Like, I think the down-to-earth kind of grittier style for the first maybe half of it is quite interesting and works really well for that character, sort of like a Winter Soldier type of vibe. Some of the action scenes are great, especially, I think it falls apart towards the end a little bit. It has this big CGI, explosion on a giant ship finale that's not that interesting. But at the start, the action scene with her and Taskmaster on the bridge, really fucking great, actually.
Taskmaster is who?
The villain who has kind of like a metallic mask and like a hood, and she like copies your moves, so she can like download people's moves and then she like does them back, which I think you would maybe get upset with, because it's one of those things where they kind of have like a super overpowered seeming thing at the start and then it doesn't really come into play later. Like she can download everyone's moves and like mimic them perfectly, but then David Harbour like beats her up for a bit. It's kind of like, okay,
yeah,
out of shape David Harbour coming off like a 20-year layoff probably wouldn't be great.
Out of shape David.
And there's some kind of fun family dynamic and interesting development of her character, but then it gets, I remember, I don't know, there's somewhere around maybe after the halfway point where they're having a family dinner scene and it starts to get a little bit like the writing gets a little cringy, and then after that it starts to be a bit more generic superhero movie of like big explosion on the ship and there's a big finale. I think the villain's pretty interesting. He's like a Harvey Weinstein type of like kind of pervert. Like he's kind of like this creep who like keeps all these like mind controls these women. There's like a creepy element to him, and then the way she defeats him is actually pretty cool. So there is stuff in here that's good. I think maybe like if I'm to get real analytical with it here, maybe
right,
like
please.
30% of the movie is pretty mid, and the rest is actually quite good.
All right. Nice analysis.
There you go. Thank you. Do you want to hear some trivia?
I would love to hear some trivia. Hit me with it.
Okay. So, you haven't seen the movie, so this kind of falls a little bit flat. But in the movie, Florence Pugh makes fun of Black Widow's like pose that she does when she lands.
All right.
Like, she lands and she like flicks her hair up, and Florence Pugh does a
little
meme
this
about
is like you just feeding me false information.
No, this genuinely happens.
So you haven't seen the movie, but like David Harbour just gets his penis out and starts swinging it around for a bit.
And that's how he actually defeats the villain at the end.
Yeah, then he calls it, this is the David Harbour helicopter, and then he just flies away into the sunset.
And that was actually practically done. That's the first piece of trivia. So, anyway, that moment came from Florence Pugh in real life teasing Scarlett Johansson about that pose, and so they just worked it into the film. Or,
fun.
Originally, Hawkeye was meant to make a brief appearance in the final act. So
see, I was gonna ask about this because wasn't there a whole talk about
the Ren making a little
that's Scarlett shows up on set. Where is Ren?
If he's not here, I fucking walk.
He flies in on David Harbour's penis.
Yep. No, that's the story. That's how the story goes.
And you can imagine that however you want, whether it's like a broomstick, like in Quidditch, or
there's a lot of different interpretations.
Or the helicopter. There's a lot of different interpretations you could do. It's very ambiguous.
So what do you think? What are you thinking here?
Ooh, I don't know, because I thought that there was the talks of him like whatever they was like, not Sokovia, but like they had some past where it's like he saved me, this and this and this, and
yes, they do.
So it would be possible. However, I feel like you could be trying to trick me with that.
Oh,
so I'm gonna say that that's false.
Oh,
and that Florence did make fun of her pose.
You're correct, sir.
Yes,
let's fucking go. Yeah, no. Hawkeye was never meant to show up. Actually, maybe he was, but I did make that one up.
Ren was never supposed to be a show.
We then move on to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Very cool.
Featuring a cameo from your boy Wong. But beyond
what isn't these days?
Genuinely, he is in everything.
I love
including your girlfriend.
As I said before.
Sorry.
Such base boost.
Including your mother.
But Shang-Chi, beyond the Wong cameo, the Wong-Yo, which was also really good, genuinely a great film. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but it's certainly going to be at the top, towards the top of my ranking of this phase.
Same.
I think, yeah, going into it, there was a little bit of a feeling. Of course, there's excitement because new MCU character, but there's a little bit of a feeling of like, is this going to be a little bit more generic? The solo
is this going to be, as the philosophers say, mid, but so good.
No,
the fighting, the whole like cultural approach, everything was just very cool.
I think it's one of the best origin superhero films that we've had in a while, because those can get very tiresome, especially at this point when we've had so many. And I think they still found a way to, I don't know, there are a lot of things about it where you would think at this point we're tired of it, but it managed to, like, even Shang-Chi as a character, he's sort of, there's nothing like too distinctive about him. Like he's not like it's not like he's Paul Rudd and he's always joking, or he's, like Captain America, he's super stoic. Like he's a little bit more of like a normal guy, but he's just, I think it was just such spot on casting with I can't remember Simu Liu. He's just like so charismatic and like just such a good energy to him.
And the movie does like a really good, because it is basically like it could be a standalone movie, but it does a good job of kind of incorporating and putting itself into the MCU without making it feel super forced. Like, sometimes it'll be just thrust in there without thinking, like, just assuming that everyone's completely up to speed with everything that's been going on. Whereas this one is it's a very like small bit that's actually like in the MCU that I feel like you had to understand to get the whole plot of the movie, which I like.
Yeah, it feels like a movie that if I saw it when I was a kid, it'd be one of those movies that I like watched over and over again and really enjoy, because it has like that cool martial arts type action, like some really fantastic action scenes, actually some of the best of Phase 4. Also one of the best villains of Phase 4, his dad. Like there's actually quite a compelling like, I don't know, dynamic between them. I do think, like a lot of these, towards the end, it kind of becomes a little bit less interesting when it's big battle and kind of like CGI.
But it's got a dragon.
But it's not that bad. It's one of the better versions of it, and we have so many nutty additions here. Of course, we have Wongers, as we established, but we also have a big nasty,
and we've got a
wouldn't go in there. We both know to do it. Why?
A Kingsley.
We do have a he's real. He's not real, but he's real, or whatever.
What's the little creature called? Jeffrey?
He has some fucking weird like alien creature with him.
You can see him. It's definitely not Jeffrey, but
a delightful Kingsley returning as the Mandarin. He's not real.
The Mandarin? He's not real.
Which I feel like was like an inspired, funny choice. But again, it also doesn't like ruin the movie if you're not familiar. Like he's just kind of like a funny side character that you can like imagine would be there. Great visual effects as well. I think Awkwafina at times gets a little bit annoying as the comic relief, but generally pretty charming.
Like going into it, I thought she would be way more annoying.
Yeah. Fair.
Than she was.
What a positive review. I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I actually would like to rewatch it. I also think it was the first movie I saw in like, because there was like another one of the mini lockdowns, and it was like at around that time where things were opening up again, and it was one of the first movies I saw in a while, and it was just like really cool to see it in the cinema as well. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of Shang-Chi, and I will say, unlike the next movie we're going to talk about, which we've talked about endlessly, including like last week, but in this one where they introduced a new character, it didn't feel like we're trying to like pad out and like give a new big actor a part in this universe. It felt like, I really want to see this guy again. Like I would love to see him interacting with other characters in this world, which is what it should be. Should be like.
It was just a great standalone kind of movie.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to hit you with some triviums?
So Freddie has some triviums. I'm here for it.
All right. So Shang-Chi. 1.
Okay.
Shang-Chi essentially translates to ascending vital life force or energy, with Shang meaning ascending and Chi being vital life force.
Okay. All right.
Or
interesting.
Simu Liu.
The Grinch-esque smile on your face.
Who plays Shang-Chi would tease co-star Awkwafina whenever she would make a mistake or break character. The main punchline that Leo used was, Awkwafina, more like awkward Fina.
Wow. That does sound like a hilarious set hijink that could be told on a Jimmy Fallon.
This could have happened.
But I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I mean, like, I know chi means like essential life force.
Yeah.
Awkward Fina. Incredible. Yeah, no, that's. I wish that was true, and I think he should employ that in the sequel. But I'm gonna go with the ascending life force. Goodness.
Anyways, yeah. Moving on. Damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna like turn my face cam off for the next one.
That was good. Next up, we have Eternals, which we've literally just talked about. We've talked about way too much, so we're not going to get into it. If you want to hear our thoughts, we have like an episode we did a whole review. We talked about it in the last Woody's Movies one. We've talked about probably in like movies people like that we hate or something. I remember when it came out, I didn't hate it, and the more time that's passed, I don't hate it, but I want to burn it.
God damn, do I despise it now?
The more I think about it, I'm just like, it's probably not even that bad. Like, it's probably totally fine.
It's probably just really long and mid.
It was long.
It's just because like the MCU is generally just quite good. So when you see something like this that is just inarguably mid, it's like, oh, okay, it stands out for being below average.
And I think also because the MCU is usually very fun and kind of either like very self-aware, or when it does do a more serious thing like a Black Panther, for example, which we'll get to. It's also, you're totally like frozen. You're gone, by the way. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, like you went very pixelated. I can hear you, but it's
okay. I was gonna say, when they do something like that, like, I don't know, this just felt very unself-aware. It felt kind of like a it feels like there's so much lore and there's a lot to like you have to process, and there's a fucking billion characters, and it's like, and then the giant creature in space, he created us to be a force against this other creature he created, and we traveled the planets in thousands of years, and then our memories were erased. I'm like, fucking God.
Yeah, kind of like an overload of information, and also, so much new stuff introduced that I feel like this has not been just hasn't been part of the MCU ever. Like, surely you would have heard of these like fucking huge galactic beings who can just like... Yeah,
also, isn't there one of those Celestials still just like sticking out of the ocean at the end of that movie?
Sticking out of the ocean, just never mentioned again.
Like, weren't those like bigger than a planet? Like, wouldn't that destroy the whole... Anyway, I don't know. There's some potential there, I guess. We shouldn't hate on it too much because it's probably not that bad of a movie. I just remember thinking, like, this feels like a YouTube video that a nerd like B.H.L. Hudson would make of, like, here's a breakdown of all the Eternals. And it's like, I don't fucking...
Was Gilgamesh really a big baby?
I do like the ending part where they're, like, just chilling there and then a big old fucking Celestial appears in the sky and just grabs them all. That was kind of cool.
Just grabs Kumail. Wait, was Kumail grabbed?
I think so, probably. Kumail's kind of fun. Like, everyone's okay in it.
Kumail and Gilgamesh, I like.
There are some pretty boring characters, though. Like, I don't care about any of these fuckers.
Also, Jon Snow's in it?
Jon Snow's in it, and he's okay.
He becomes, like, the Black Knight or something at the end?
Well, there's a Blade cameo of his voice, Mahersh, at the end. He's like, check
when
out
is Mahersh coming out?
2024, I think. Also, some CGI was a little bit wacky, I would say. But, probably not as bad as we make it out. Anyway, triviums. I like how we're like, let's not talk about this, and then we rant for like 10 minutes straight. Millie Bobby Brown was approached for the part of Sprite before the casting of Leah McHugh. Or Miles Teller was approached for the part of Icarus before the casting of Richard Madden. Before the casting of Leah McHugh. They wanted Miles Teller as the character of Sprite.
Now that would be great casting.
I'm just saying, he has that boyish charm to him. You know, he could definitely pull that off.
He could definitely pull that off. I do not think personally that Miles Teller would be good as Icarus. I think he's got too much of a lack of a chin.
That's a...
At least thinking from War Dogs. He's probably got a very good chin in Top Gun, but I don't know, and like his nose just doesn't feel very Icarus-y to me.
Okay, so he's not chiseled enough, you think, to... Maybe that's why they didn't go for him. I don't know why we're insulted. He's a beautiful, handsome man.
He's a very handsome man, but he doesn't give that Icarus energy. Like, he would be more of a... I don't know. Just not Icarus. So I'm going to say that the Millie Bobby Brown one is the real trivia.
It is indeed. And oh, you are frozen. You're just frozen with the nuttiest little smile on your face. I was like, it is indeed, and you just went. Yes, I'm so good.
Yes.
Nice. I think Millie Bobby Brown probably smart to avoid this specific franchise, and she probably thought like I can get a better role in the MCU at some point in the future.
Yeah,
than just
than freaking like, Sprite.
Than like
or Spike,
complete side character who gets hit in the back of the skull with a brick. Or does she do that to someone else? I feel like we always get that wrong. No, she gets hit.
No.
With the brick.
She gets hit by the new Joker.
Yeah.
Druig, is that his name?
Yeah. Fuck
yeah, I really don't like him in that, but
all my homies hate Druig. Anyway.
All my homies hate Druig.
He's a good actor, though. I like Barry Keoghan and Han. And then Spider-Man No Way Home.
Wait, what about the trivia?
That was the trivia. But wait, we haven't talked about Shang-Chi yet.
It's because we talked so much about Miles Teller, I completely forgot he was part of the trivia.
Did you know Daniel Craig did a vodka ad? Buffoon.
Sitting here talking about the trivia. Wait a minute.
Hold the fuck up. Next up,
yes,
we have
No Way Home.
Spider-Man into the Maguires.
Into the bus.
Into the bus. Imagine that. Just they're like, yeah, next Spider-Man movie is just Spider-Man into the bus. There's no explanation for it. The poster is just Doc Ock winking. Anyway, No Way Home. I think this is actually interesting to talk about because now that we are basically a year removed from the crazy hype of it first coming out.
Crazy hype, yeah.
Just to look at it more objectively. As a film. I still think it's very good.
Me too.
It's like, if I haven't rewatched it in full since, and the reason for that probably is the first hour and a half or so, or hour, you are kind of waiting for it to get to the crazy stuff, which I guess is a problem with any movie that has like a big reveal or big crazy climax. But to be fair, like something like the first Avengers, that has like a big crazy climax, and I still enjoy the first like.
I think the first Avengers is probably the best MCU movie.
Yeah,
full stop.
It has a great pace.
Everything
to it.
About it is just so good. But I don't know. I think, as you say, that the hype and everything leading up to this movie and like the payoff was just so good. So I don't think I'd want to watch it again just because the first time watching it was just actually just so good.
Yeah, it was. We've talked about this a little bit before, sometimes a bit negatively, but with this case, I think it could be said in a positive way. It was much more of an experience than a film. Like, it was much more of like you're going to see like a show and like a cool thing you never thought you'd see, more than like an actual. Because the story's fine. It's objectively super stupid.
I mean, again, it's not. And the reason it works so well, I think, is that it's not a bad movie, but it is heavy on the spectacle.
Yes, yeah. Without the spectacle, it would definitely be. You'd be like, okay, that was fine. Like if they had basically this movie and he fights the Sinister Six, but they're all like recast, MCU versions. They're not like the original versions. You'd be like, yeah, that was. Honestly, it'd probably be like Far From Home, which is like, yeah, it's fun. It's like it's pretty good. But because it has that added thing, it takes it to like, yeah, it was just a super fun. It felt like a payoff, that you didn't think you'd get. And they did a good job of not just having it be like, look, here they are, but like they were fun interacting. The villains were fun interacting. They were like fun little. I don't know. I feel like Jamie Foxx had some good moments.
Jamie Foxx did have some good moments.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Defoe was truly terrifying.
Defoe was great as always. Peter.
Peter. Can the Spider-Man come out to play?
Fuck your aunt. Explosion. His whispers that day. Fuck Aunt May.
Aunt May's dead, Peter.
I'm trying. What are the quotes he says in that movie? As if that was a quote he actually said. Fuck Aunt May.
What are other really realistic quotes he said?
That sixth sense of yours is really something.
Genuinely, I don't know why. I thought you were going to say Excelsior, like Stan Lee's catchphrase. He blows up Aunt May. Excelsior. Flies off. Anyway, yeah, no, he is very good. God, I feel like we've unlocked a new thing. I love doing a Defoe impression. That's great. That's
I
great
think we're
fun.
pretty good at it as
We're
well.
pretty good,
like
right?
honestly,
Peter. Anyway,
Peter.
I also like the part where he body slams him through like 6 floors of concrete. That was pretty great.
yeah.
This is also
Norman's on sabbatical, honey.
There you go. I also, I like that Peter Parker just gets, like, he hasn't had like
good old ass whooping.
He's obviously gone through a lot in this universe. I shouldn't say he hasn't. Like, every father figure he's ever had has died, and he's died, and everyone he loves has died, or whatever. But in this one, like everyone he loves really dies, and he just gets beat the fuck up, and like everyone loses their memory. Like, it's a sad Peter Parker movie, which I feel like is where Peter Parker does his best work.
I really do not like the ending. The ending just where he because in this, I mean, I know that's like they've become official and stuff in this movie, or like towards the end of the last movie, but like in this one especially, I really love the MJ dynamic between him and MJ. And it's just like it Frenches my heart.
It Frenches your heart?
It wrenches.
Oh, fair enough.
It also Frenches my heart.
That's what Dwayne does when Kevin comes on set. Frenches the heart. But I hear you, but I think also they're definitely going to reverse that in the next one, because they know Tom Holland and Zendaya are a power couple of the modern. They're the Brangelina of today. There's no way they're going to throw that away.
They might be getting married and starting a family. News reports.
Very cool. Definitely not jealous of Zendaya.
Of Zendaya? God. How did she get such a hunk?
but I don't know. I like that it took that risk, I guess, that it isn't just like the final swing through the city has a kind of melancholic tone to it, He's just like in a
very
shitty
melancholy
apartment.
I hate it. And then he goes into the cafe, and then I feel like Ned is absolutely gonna like hook up with MJ.
Spider-Man 4 cuckolding home? I don't know. Cuckolding at home. Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man 4, Ned, why are you cuckolding me? Ned's Wang is on sabbatical?
Sorry, Ned. Anyway, yeah. Pretty good movie. You can hit me with the trivia.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Let me hit you with some. In order to preserve the secrecy of the film and stop any spoilers from emerging during early production from paparazzi and actors alike, Willem Dafoe walked around in a costume which often was a large cloak. On set, that is. Not just in his house.
Just going to the grocery store. Just like, why is Willem just wearing a giant cloak over his head?
He then accidentally bumped into Tom Holland one day on set, and that was the first time the two met, with Tom Holland not even knowing he was supposed to be there that day. Or Willem Dafoe went to the premiere of the movie wearing a Spider-Man mask, which got many laughs from his co-stars that he went with. That he went with.
Interesting. Because I was gonna say the first one was definitely false, but then I feel like I would have seen Dafoe in the mask.
I don't know.
I feel like that image would have circulated to my news feed.
I don't actually know if it's a popular thing, but yeah.
I'm gonna say the first one's false.
The first one's false?
Yeah.
You're wrong!
Ah, damn it! Fuck!
He walked around in a cloak for days.
He was completely nude underneath.
No, wait. Wait, what?
The first one's
real.
Yeah, I think the first one was false.
Yes, okay, yes.
And it was real.
The first one is real.
Okay, alright.
Yes, sorry.
Dang.
I got overexcited, and I was right, but then I confused myself.
Your life flashed before your eyes. Damn it.
Yeah.
Why am I...
He did, however, wear a green face mask to the premiere.
Of course he did.
Not a Spider-Man mask.
The old joke.
That might be the image you're thinking of.
That might have crossed across my Twitter sphere. Next up, we have from earlier this year, Doctor Strange in the Mom, aka the Multiverse of Madness.
God, like those memes where it's like, I think I downloaded the wrong Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's that.
Doctor Strange in the Mom. When I first saw this, I thought it was quite bad and really like cringy, and then I fixed my mindset.
Then I fixed up and got on that grind.
And I sort of tried to appreciate it more for the intentionally stylized and like goofy kind of horror parody sci-fi vibe it was going for, and I actually really liked it a lot the second time. So that's where I still stand on it, is that I can understand why people, as the person I saw with at the time, fucking hated it. Like, was like, that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I get it, but also I sort of liked it. Had a lot of, watching it the second time, there wasn't really a scene where I was bored. It had a lot of like cool weird shit going on. That was just like Wanda crawling through the mirrors and him going to like the different, weird dimensions and shit. I don't know. There was a lot going on that I appreciated.
Fair. I mean, again, I think the reason this movie, the reason I don't love this movie is because similar to No Way Home, but No Way Home actually delivered, I hype myself up for it so much because of all he's going to go to so many different dimensions. This and this and this character will show up. It's going to be awesome. And I mean, you say about the dimensional hopping and stuff like that. They didn't do a lot of it, I don't think. Like, they had that one sequence where it was like 30 seconds of them like becoming paint and then flying through different like universes. And then they're just stuck in one or two universes for the rest of the movie. I think it would have been a lot more fun if they like got like hunted across universes and like had to switch every like 10 minutes. I think that would be so much better.
I think they definitely could have had more, at the very least, maybe more of those like transition scenes where you can just see because that was just so much fun seeing all the creative weird shit. But I think that's the thing. When I went in knowing what it was going to be, I had a much better time with it because I wasn't thinking about that stuff, and I was like, I sort of appreciated more like, this like the universe they end up in where everything's kind of just like weird and the Illuminati stuff. Like, that was kind of fun to stay there for a bit and like see what was going on there.
But we got the Noodle Krasinski.
We did get some cameos. Got the Noodle Krasinski. We got Blackagar Boltagon.
Who got such a horrific death.
Yeah, he did. I like that. I like the Professor X was kind of fun to see, I guess. The stew.
Yeah, I mean there's I mean there's good parts, but it was just, I don't know. I also didn't really like Wanda that much.
No, I did feel like her character was definitely it was a kind of too sharp of a turn from where WandaVision ended to where this started.
Definitely. Like, I don't know, like, I forget, does she die in the end of this or no?
No, I mean, it's like left ambiguous, but she's definitely, I think they said she has a solo thing coming up.
Alright, gotcha. But like, I don't know, like the whole, again, like, obviously, like, if this was in real life, what she's gone through would obviously traumatize anyone. But like, at the same time, her whole, like, my kids who are not even real, I'm like, what do you, like, I don't know. And the kids were just so annoying, and the fact that she kept wanting to save them, I was like, oh my god.
I think you just hate children. I think that's what we've established over these episodes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, some children, but you have to admit, like, Mom, we practiced this song for you. No, you didn't.
You did send me
that. You don't exist, Billy.
There are also, I hate to say it, some really, no, I was going to say on Wanda, there's, there's a bit of that, and I think I forgave it more because, like, it's like, it's the Darkhold's corruption, but I can understand also that it's like, it is just from this movie's point of view, it's kind of like, why are you? Like, she gives some also really cringy speeches. She's like, this is me being merciful, or whatever the fuck she says. And it's like, sometimes the stylisticness of it really hits home, and sometimes, it is a bit goofy, especially when Wong yells, fortify your minds. One of the worst moments in the MCU. Made me burst out laughing really bad. But overall, I will say.
I say mid.
Dang. All right. Well, damn it. Trivia time.
All right. Hit us with it.
Let's see. In the production of the film, Kevin Feige told them as much as he loved hearing Black Bolt's name mentioned in early conversations, he wasn't sure that Wanda was powerful enough to defeat him, as all he needs to do is open his mouth. Sam Raimi riffed instantly, saying, "What mouth?" This obviously made it into the script. Or, Trivia 2. Benedict Wong had to be removed from the set of the film for constantly referring to Wanda Maximoff as Momda Mommy MILF. Can I just say, I was writing these while sitting in a lecture, and I like kind of chuckled to myself, and the room was just completely silent, and it was a horrible moment because I'd never be able to explain why I was chuckling. Yeah.
Goddamn, I thought for sure that the first one was gonna be fake.
Well, you never know. I mean, you can still guess.
And then I wouldn't put it past one to say it, but to say it to the point of removal.
To be actively taken away from the production. Yeah. Also, for the record, I'd like to say we're just playing into the Wanda Maximoff meme. We respect Elizabeth Olsen as an actress and Wanda as a character. It's just a bit of a memery.
Mom to
mommy. Next up,
so stupid.
we have for Thor, aka Thor Love and Thunder, which you did see, right?
I did see, yes.
Yes. Does feature the god Nini Nani. That's what it's most famous for.
So terrified. Like if you had like a gunshot, like shotgun to your head. It was featuring the god Nini Nani.
It was a great meme.
Who sits on a throne of scissors because rock beats scissors.
That was going to be one of the trivias, but then I realized I wasn't doing the trivia for this one. So
Me too. It was going to be one of my trivias, but then I realized that
I would know that.
I found something better.
Oh. For Thor, this is kind of a similar one. I think everything kind of gets a little bit exaggerated when we talk about it on the pod, where when I first watched it, I was like, that wasn't very good, but it was kind of fun. And since then, just the more I think about it and the more kind of conversations I've had with people, especially Lele and I talked about it quite a bit, just not a very good movie. It's just like...
Just not a good movie.
It has fun moments at times, a couple of funny moments, but not as funny as you would hope. A lot of useless characters, a really poorly done plot, weird tonal inconsistencies. I don't know, just like not good. Like just kind of a stinker.
Again, I still don't think it's the worst Thor movie. I think it's probably on par with... Is it Thor 1 or... I don't remember which of the first two Thors is the worst, but maybe Dark World. I think it's probably maybe on par with that, but then I enjoy this one a bit more because this one at least has got a bit of humor, whereas, I don't know, like, it's definitely, like, compared to Ragnarok, such a, like, downstep, but...
Yeah. I think it's because, like...
Yeah.
I don't know, Taika Waititi's humor, I guess, like, when it hits, it's, like, hilarious, and it really hits, and when it doesn't, it is kind of... I've used the word cringy way too many times in this, but, like, it is a little bit... Like, you sent me a meme of... You know, the Civil War boardroom scene where they're like, the Avengers are sitting there and General Ross is telling them whatever, but it's like dubbed over and to be like, the MCU has gotten really cringy.
Marvel movies.
And like, there are moments like that. And it had like the whole thing at the end with like, he gives all the kids his powers and there's so many unexplained things and just such a dumb plot, like the eternal wishing thing. And Christian Bale, while good, kind of feels like he's from like a completely different movie. And... I think,
Yeah, Christian Bale does not fit in this movie at all. Yeah, the whole, like, I like Natalie Portman in this, but the whole thing of her getting his powers, still don't really get it. I won't lie.
Well, a lot of stuff, like, isn't really explained, like, how or why certain things can be done. Like, why can she put the hammer back together all of a sudden? Like,
yeah, it's like, and also, like, why is the like, the whole thing was that the hammer is not... the source of the power. Are you Thor, god of hammers? No,
fuck off, Odin.
He's not. God, Odin, come on. What the hell?
I thought you were dead, old man.
Stop haunting me, you bitch. Like, so, I don't know. It's just.
I think it. Yeah, it is. If you were to like watch, I guess I like it maybe more than Thor: The Dark World because at least it's like going for more. Like it's like trying to be more creative. But I think Thor: The Dark World is like if you were watching something with like a person who you just wanted to like sit down and watch whatever. I think Thor: The Dark World is a safer watch that they'll be like, yeah, that was pretty fun. Where this one they could either be like, that was really fun, or they'll be like, that was fucking awful. That was like really bad.
Yeah, this is a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah, so I don't know, a bit of a stink. I have to say, bit of a stink on that.
I will say the same. Kind of a mid to stink.
Yeah. What are our trivias looking like here?
All right, let me hit you with some trivias here.
Please.
Now, I've got 3.
Okay.
One of which is correct.
Okay, you just couldn't help yourself.
And 2 that are false.
All right, hit me with it, man.
All right. Chris Hemsworth was genuinely surprised by the fact that Meek was a fictional character and not his real life best friend.
Okay.
Another. Natalie Portman is vegan, and therefore it is tough to grow muscle. This led to the production team CGIing more muscles onto her biceps to make her appear larger and stronger as the female Thor.
Okay.
3. Taika Waititi is reportedly an ironic fan of the movie Morbius. Sometimes, when shooting lines for his character Korg, he would paint himself completely grey to try and look as rock-like as possible. He would then reportedly look directly into the camera as they started rolling and say, "It's Korging time," which would often cause co-stars to laugh, leading to numerous retakes.
I was so sure that the second one was fake, but that is interesting. Well, I definitely love the idea of it's Korgan time. I'm gonna have to say the vegan, because I know Natalie Portman is vegan. So I'm gonna have to say that one's true. Although I'm surprised they would admit that they have to put fake muscles on a.
You are correct.
I feel like they wouldn't admit that because that's like kind of I don't know.
It's on the IMDb.
Dang. I feel like they're putting down. Someone would be like a vegan would be mad because it feels like they're putting down vegans by saying that. But fair enough. Because
I mean that's almost word for word what it said.
Damn. But I hope Korgan time was also true. We can't say for sure it wasn't.
Again, I don't know if that's true or not. I just thought that would be funny if it were.
The film was shot several years ago, I think, before Morbius came out. But yes. Well,
yeah, I did think that might have been a slight mistake in my trivia.
Well, last year we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which we're not going to talk about because we literally just did a full episode on it. You can go listen to that. It's like 2 episodes ago. We talk in depth. Very good, though. I loved it. I really loved it.
Very good. Yeah.
Trivia.
Please.
Winston Duke improvised the line, "You bald-headed demon." Or Tenoch Huerta had to have the green underpants area of his costume digitally made smaller because, according to director Ryan Coogler, that Schmeat was humongo. G. Yummikers. So what do we
that
think?
Schmeat was humongo. G's yummy? Or what did you say?
It does say here, in what could be copied from IMDb, G. Yummikers.
G. Yummikers. All right. Well, see, because I saw... Okay.
I saw that package, and it did look smaller than it was supposed to.
But hear me out. I just... No, but genuinely.
Okay. All right.
I just saw a thing where it does look like they've digitally, taken the crotch area further down than it was in the trailer. This is not a joke.
Okay, to be fair, I did make that up, but... in case you couldn't tell, but they may have done that. I'm sure they've done that.
He also may have said yummers.
He may have said that Schmeat was humongo. You never know. Coogler's a loose cannon like that.
That Schmeat was humongo.
I do think there was some story about Captain America or some other superhero where they did have to digitally make the crotch smaller, which is why I felt comfortable putting in there. I wasn't saying anything about... Just to be clear, I don't know or want to know anything about Tenoch's actual Schmeat. I hope I didn't make him uncomfortable with that. It was just for a bit of memery. But I have heard some stories about that being done.
Let's see here. Disney/Marvel accused of making Namor's crotch bulge... Oh, then I can't read the rest. Originally had a much bigger part to play in Wakanda
Damn,
Forever.
Okay, never mind. I was right. 2 pieces of trivia that maybe were partially correct.
Yes, here it is. Yes, Marvel edited out Namor's bulge in Black Panther 2.
So, damn. They did my boy dirty. He was like, when this movie comes out, oh, the world's gonna know. Tenoch's
the world's gonna know what they've been missing out on.
He slaps him on the table.
At the, script reading. All right, gang.
I mean, to be fair, what a compliment, though. I mean, if there's a news article about your dick having to be made look smaller, that's pretty... Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a badass move, not gonna lie. To be fair, also
unless you're erect during filming.
Yeah, that's not great.
Tenoch, that's not really on.
Problematic. That's not on. I do think also, if you're gonna, that is a very Very revealing suit. That must be weird to walk around on set with that. But anyway. So anyway, good stuff. Wow, that was a big realization at the end there. Should we rank these movies from worst to best? So I'm going to go worst to best. Thor Love and Thunder. Actually, no. I'm going to go Eternals.
Oh, wait.
Is someone vacuuming?
Someone is vacuuming.
Do you know we're about to do the Tom fucking Cnews? Oh, that is...
God, fucking buffoons.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. We're just going to have to power through this for the Tom Cnews.
Yeah,
anyway.
I do apologize.
We're going to go Eternals, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Widow, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Mom, Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Ooh. Okay. We're going to go, from my ranking, we're going to go, because I haven't seen it, Black Widow. Okay. Although it probably would be above the Thor.
Yeah.
Anyways, Black Widow, then the Thor. Then we're going to go with, remind me of all the other ones.
Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther.
Ooh, okay, then definitely Eternals right after that, although that and the Thor could be interchangeable.
Yeah.
Then Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Then we're gonna rock. Again, as a movie, if I had to eliminate one movie and never watch it again, I would probably take away No Way Home. But because it was such a good first experience, I'm gonna put Shang-Chi, then No Way Home, then Black Panther.
All right, not a bad shout, Well, that was fun. With all that said,
gee whiz, that was a good time.
It's now time for
the Timecodes.
Well, we have an article here from the Digital Fix that says Tom Cruise almost got arrested making Mission Impossible. Now, before I read
As
this,
he killed 6 men.
Yeah, what do we want to guess the reason is? I'm gonna say, killed 6 men is a pretty good shout. I can see that happening, and just being buried until now, like those men.
Going slightly less realistic, though. I'm gonna say they were shooting a stunt, and a policeman didn't and they were going past the speed limit. Policeman did not realize it was for a movie.
Okay. That is way less realistic than the murder one, but
yeah, I know.
You're actually not far off.
Okay.
According here, he once nearly got arrested. He had a run-in with a rather rude cop in Prague.
Okay.
Cruise was heading to his trailer after a long stunt-filled shoot when a police officer stopped him and asked if he could see his papers. He was speaking in Czech, Cruise explained. I said, "My papers? What do you mean, my papers? We're in Prague, Communism is about 2 miles back, pal." I hope he said that for real. The guy. He put his finger in his face.
Buddy.
Apparently, the situation was only resolved when a police chief working on the set was brought over to talk to the officer. He was just being a bully, Cruise continued. But it was like, what else can happen? While it's possible Cruise may have overreacted to an over-enthusiastic police officer, there was a lot of pressure on the star, according to Mission Impossible, right? All right, whatever. Who gives a fuck? But
I don't care about Cruise's actual real-life problems.
Okay, actually, it was on the first Mission Impossible. So Cruise wasn't even that. I mean, he was a pretty big star by then, but he wasn't even the phenomenon he is now.
He's not the institution that he is now.
So yeah, I guess we can't say good for Cruise. I mean, it's just a thing that happened. It's usually what the Tom Cruise is.
Not bad for Cruise, we'll say.
It's a chaotic neutral story for Cruise.
Chaotic neutral.
We're now going to go on to the announcements and such. We're going to start with some comments on the latest pod.
I don't want to say anything here.
Yep.
But I don't want to
doesn't say anything for real. I don't want to say anything here.
Kind of bombed on the last one.
What, the Woody's part 3, part 4? I mean, to be fair, it's not much more bombing than we've been.
Oh my God, we've been bombing lately.
No, we've been. When I say the pod's in the mud a little bit, I'm not joking.
I mean,
look, I think
as long as we get above 200, I'm fine. 2023,
the pod and BHL Hudson, we're making a big comeback, both creatively and financially. That's the goal here. No, we've been stinking up the room a little bit, but it's cool. Anyway, comments.
I don't think our content's been bad, has it?
No. I mean, we should just try to figure out maybe we'll figure it out.
Just the algorithm.
This is an off-pod conversation. Yeah, our numbers are really down, and I don't think
serious, like
financial difficulties. I thought we were doing
existential crisis.
I thought we were putting our all into these, actually. Anyway,
Blood, sweat, and tears and all that.
Al Feld says, "Oh my God, can't believe you actually listened to my recommendation. Thank you so much," because he did recommend Woody's Movies Part 4. No problem. And also, I think whoever recommended we do Marvel Phase 4 ranked will enjoy this one.
You're welcome as well.
ZJ Goat says, Pete Davidson's character's death scene. What a funny, hilarious, humorous event. True.
True.
Josie, I would have never thought that in 5 years of the podcast, BHL would ever say, Free Guy makes Citizen Kane look like my balls. We've reached peak comedy. Very much so, yeah. ZJ also says, I think in reference to the fact that I was wrong about the word irredeemable and unredeemable, he says, looks like you were BHL-son, not BHL Dubson. Very true.
Very true.
A good point
Very
has been made.
Astute comment.
Cal W says, Peacemaker, what a good afternoon. Classic reference. Love it. Daniel says, another really great and enjoyable episode. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. And BHL being hungover on a Tuesday, what a joke. And never stop doing King Shark and Peacemaker impressions ever. That sounds kind of threatening, so I think we should... All right, let's
don't you fucking dare. The new Tom France.
And another PS, what are your thoughts, predictions on KSI versus Dylan Dennis, the Poorly Planned podcast, what a sauce? And another PS, what an unhinged podcast episode. And I loved it. Sorry for the long comment. Don't say sorry. Rather, we should say... Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
I'm not sure I get the sauce reference, but thank you.
Is it supposed to be source?
I don't know. But anyway, Dylan Dennis KSI. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dylan Dennis is going to pull out. He's just that kind of guy. He hasn't fought in years, and I think he's just using it to get some clout. If it does happen, KSI should beat him, but it could turn into like a really boring kind of like clinchy fight. I think KSI will win, but I worry he might not make the like big statement that he's hoping to make, because I think Dylan's just kind of like,
it's gonna be like a thing, split decision.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a pretty unsexy watch, as they say. But
I see
he should win. Hopefully by knockout. He should. It's very embarrassing if he loses, basically.
Okay.
What do you think?
I haven't really seen Dylan Dennis fight much, so I don't know, but I'm rooting and hoping for JJ Olatunji.
Did you see the I am the nightmare KSI moment when they were doing like the face off, and it was like the cringiest thing ever?
I did not see that.
It's pretty great. He yelled at him. He's like, I am the nightmare KSI, and then someone edited in some guy just like looking confused and then bursting out laughing. It's pretty good. It was kind of rough. All the comments are like, man was thinking about some sick edit that would be set to the sound. It just came off really bad. Anyway, and finally, Connor Beer says, I like how most of the Tom Cnews recently has just been about Tom Cruise being an absolute menace in the UK, which, I mean, that's what he's been up to, I guess.
That's the news. That's the man.
We just report it, right? And the fan page has not posted anything. All good. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. I keep trying to remind myself to say like and subscribe at the start of the pod, but oh well. If you've gotten this far, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment down below how you would rank the Phase 4 MCU movies and what you thought of the Guardians Holiday Special and Homeland Season 2. You can also find the pod on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave a 5-star rating, leave a nice review. It helps us out. Come back for the next one. Tell your friends about it. They'd love it, maybe. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson, TikTok, BHL Hudson, Letterboxd, Real BHL Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DaltSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidelgard. You can find me on Letterboxd at FTK_Thwaites. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming.
You said Thwaites. It's FTK_Thwilms.
Sorry.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Ned cucks you.
Damn.